fuck is wrong with you? Say happy birthday. That's how you stay a connected, engaged friend. Hey friends, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're a returner, thank you for coming back. So today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. We're going to be talking about friendship in your 20s. And I'm saying 20s only because I'm in my 20s, but honestly, a lot of this is applicable to people in their 30s, people in their 40s, even people that are younger and entering college. You guys know the vibe. Go ahead and get a snack, get a drink, and let's get into the video. Okay friends, today I want to talk about friendship in your 20s. I want to discuss, first of all, how to make friends in your 20s, how to strengthen and keep the friends that you already have, and then also how to be a better friend in general. So starting with how to make friends in your 20s. So if you are post-college, then you already know it's so much harder to make friends when you're out in the real world, rather than when you're in school and basically all of your friends, your lives revolve around the same common goal. So whether that's getting a degree, whether it's your sports team in high school, whether you went to trade school and you met a bunch of people when you're learning to be an electrician, those people become good friends with you because you're all kind of going through life together. But what happens post-college is that you're no longer going through life with your friends. You're basically going through life by yourself with your friends on the outside. So that's why all of a sudden it becomes harder to maintain your friendships, because rather than seeing one friend every Tuesday in your 9 a.m. class, you have to put in effort to see those friends. And rather than just running into people and making friends naturally, you have to make an effort to go outside and intentionally seek to make friends. So how do you actually do that as a person that works full-time, has to take care of yourself, has to work out, has to take care of your hair, you have to do all of that? It's so hard to make friends. How do you actually do that? This is where it's so important to have hobbies. And when I say hobbies, I mean things that you do for fun that you do not get paid for. I'm not talking about me doing content. Like, to me, this is not a hobby at this point. It's like a second job. When I say hobby, I like to color. I have coloring books that I like to use. When I say hobby, I like to listen to music. I have noise canceling headphones I put on in my house, and I'm bopping around, I'm dancing, I'm cleaning. When I say hobbies, I like to go to art exhibits. I like to go to the museum exhibits that come up seasonally. I like to go to botanical gardens. You know, I like to try new restaurants. I love to go to new rooftop bars that are opening and trying their cocktails. Those are all things that I like to do that I don't get paid for. So when I say hobby, I mean, what do you like to do that you don't get paid for? And the reason that this is so important is because once you develop interests outside of financial obligations, you start to learn more about yourself. You start to learn about what you like and what you don't like. And then also, this creates an easy conduit to find friends that have shared interests as you. It also ensures that the friends that you're going to make are ones that you can actually keep. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. So as I say in all my videos, I don't talk about things that I've never been through or I'm not going through. So this is something that I had to go through as well, especially after I lost basically a lot of my friends post-college. We either moved to different states, we just lost touch, maybe we had a falling out. But post-college, I felt so isolated and so alone. And I think the one thing that I really missed was going out. I used to have like a good close-knit group of friends that we would go out almost every weekend in college. Maybe not every weekend, but most weekends. And then getting into my 20s, it's like I would go out like once a month, maybe every other month. And it's something that I really felt like I was missing in my life. Oh, I really want friends I can go out and party with. I want, like, you know, I want girlies I can go and like shake some with. Like, I just wanted more party friends, to be frank. And then what did I do? I tried to go out of my way to make party friends. And over time I realized I don't really like to party that much. And maybe again, you get older. Oh, sorry, I thought my camera wasn't on. Again, you get older, your desires, your interests change. The thing that you like to do for fun when you were 21 might not be what you want to do when you're 27. This is why it's important to have hobbies. Hobbies, things that you actually enjoy to do on a regular basis. I would not call partying a hobby. And if partying is a hobby for you, maybe rethink that. When I think hobby, I think art exhibit. You know, when I think hobby, I think, oh, I'm a restaurateur. I like to try a new restaurant every single week. Like, those are things that are part of your personality that you enjoy. And the reason I bring up this story was that I was so focused on making party friends that I didn't realize that the friends I was making weren't really quality friends. I had a moment with the guy I was seeing that like we had like a falling out or something, and I realized I could not lean on the friends that I had. And then I realized that I'm like, I don't really have any shared interests with these girls beyond we like to go out and we like to party. But outside of that, we don't really like the same things. We don't really enjoy the same things. So outside of drinking and partying, we didn't really like each other. And that became so evident as we got older, when our lives started to be more about moving solo rather than moving towards a shared goal. Was like, hey, I actually cannot hang out with you because I can't afford to be hungover every Sunday. I want to do something else. And when I want to do something else, y'all don't want to do that. So the friendship won't last. I could go back and talk to younger Ollie about how to make friends. I would have told her, stop focusing on what you want to do with your friends and focus on having friends that like to do the same things as you. So instead of saying, I want more friends because I want to go out to parties, you should say, I want more friends that actually like to go to art exhibits. I want more friends that like trying new restaurants. If you're someone that likes to make a home-cooked meal every weekend, you're probably not going to be best friends with the girl that wants to go out to eat every Saturday because you don't have the shared interests. So looking for those shared interests and using that as a conduit of, I want to be this person's friend and I'm going to set out intentionally to make this friendship happen. So a couple tips for how you can actually make those friendships come to life. Number one is finding a way to stay connected with people that you do meet. I am someone that I'm really big on staying connected with people all through my life. I remember actually one of my closest friends now, I met her when we were like in the 7th or the 8th grade. We went to an engineering camp. So silly. We went to engineering camp. We were like one of the few black girls there. We immediately took to each other. And after that, we stayed connected through social media. Come maybe a decade later, she moves to New York and now she's one of my closest friends. So it's like just being a connected and engaged follower. Key is engaged. You know, don't be the person that follows and looks at people's stories and never replies. You know, don't be the person that likes and never comments. Like, actually engage with people. When people look good, tell them. Swipe up and say, girl, you look fucking great. That red looks great on you. What was that sound? When someone posts that it's their birthday, say happy birthday. I know some people get annoyed, like, I watched this person's story, now I gotta say happy birthday. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Say happy birthday. That's how you stay a connected, engaged friend, not just a follower, not just a number on a screen, an actual friend that people see as a real person. Another tip is to introduce yourself when you're in group settings. A lot of the friends I have now are friends that I made through other friends. In fact, another one of my closest friends is actually a friend that I made through a friend I had in college that I'm not even friends with anymore. We met through other people and then we got connected on social media. We stayed connected, we were engaged with each other. And over time, we were like, hey, you wanna go get dinner? Hey, you want to go get a cocktail? And after 3 or 4 times doing it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is actually one of my really good friends. Like, she knows everything that's going on with me. And it starts by just introducing yourself in that group setting rather than being the scary person that's on their phone and doesn't want to be like outgoing. When you're with people and you're like, I know these 2 people, but I don't know the other 20 people in the room, go and meet the other 20 people in the room, especially if they're mutual friends of other friends, because you already kind of, you know, they already kind of have like a gold check on them. They already have that kind of like clear that they're a cool person, because if a person you're cool with is cool with them, they're probably a cool person. So then that's a perfect opportunity to say, I want to make more friends. I'm going to introduce myself, be myself. If we really do click and we get on, I'm going to try to stay connected with this person. And over time, I'm going to make an effort to hang out with this person. Now, if you're completely new to a city, say you have no mutual friends in the city, nobody you went to college with, and you're just completely dropped into a new town, this is where hobbies is going to be your best friend. I would say to take a class in 1 or 2 of the hobbies that you have. So whether you take a pottery class, maybe you join a book club, maybe you join a rock climbing club, find things that you enjoy to do that aren't very financially draining so that you can join a class or maybe join an adults league. I know my older sister, the other year, she was in a bowling league and it was so random. She had like a polo, everything, bowling ball, everything. But it was funny because as kids, we would go bowling all the time and I loved bowling. She took that and said, I'm gonna join an adults league because it's fun, you can meet people and it's something to do. So like things like that, you know, I have coworkers that they play pickleball. That's like their thing. Every Thursday they go play pickleball and it's like this adults league with other people from different like companies, and it's like almost like a social mixer, but you're playing a game and it's just fun. The thing that's hard about being an adult is that the fun things are no longer laid out for you. As a kid, your parents put you in summer camp. You know, your parents made you take a class. Your parents made you be that social kid because they wanted you to grow up to be a normal functioning adult. But as an adult, you have to continue that for yourself. Your parents aren't going to put you in a pottery class. Like, you have to go sign yourself up for that. But when you do that, that's an easy way to make friends. You sit beside someone 2-3 classes in a row, next thing you know you're kikiing with them, next thing you know you have them on Instagram and you're friends. It's really that simple. And the last thing I'll highlight around making new friends that I've kind of been sprinkling in here is being willing to make the first move. I think a lot of people are afraid to make the first move out of rejection, which is completely valid, but you have to think about it in the opposite sense. If you had met someone through social media or through a pottery class or a book club, or they were a coworker before, and they hit you up and they said, hey, I think you're cool. You want to go get dinner sometime? You want to go to this with me? Wouldn't you feel really happy? I remember one of my first friends I made in college. She actually, we were all in this, I don't know if you guys ever use GroupMe. It's like a WhatsApp, but basically it's like group messages. But we were in this big group message for all basically the black and brown people in the school, because I went to a PWI, and there was a party going on. And this one girl, she messaged me outside of the group chat. She said, hey, I know we've never hung out before, but I was wondering if you're going to this party tonight. Do you want to go together? I was like, yeah, sure. And we're friends to this day. I literally was just I just lit up on her story 2 days ago being like, you look so good. We're not close besties, but that was literally it. Her just reaching out and being like, hey Ollie, do you want to go to this with me? I was so honored. I was like, you want to hang out with me? And think about it, when people ask you to hang out, doesn't that make you feel so warm and fuzzy inside? That's exactly how everybody else is going to feel when you reach out to them. So when you make that first move, I know it's scary, I know it's jarring, I know you're fearing you might get rejected, but you have to think of it with an abundance mindset. Hey, I could reach out to this person and by next year we could be best friends. It's really that simple. All it takes is somebody making the first move. So now that we've talked about how to make new friends, let's talk about how to actually keep them and how to strengthen your existing relationships. So as I said before, what really happens post-college that makes a lot of people in their 20s feel lonely is that you're not working towards a common goal with your friends anymore. We're not all trying to get our degree. We're not all trying to graduate high school. We're all having completely different things going on. Our lives can be completely different places. I have friends that have kids. I have friends that just got married. I have friends that are single. Everybody's in a completely different place in their life. So it makes you feel a little bit more isolated than you did before. And that's why it's so important to learn how to strengthen and enrich your existing relationships so you don't feel isolated because you guys aren't seeing each other on a regular basis. So this will look different for everybody, but for me, it's really important for me to designate time to check in with my friends. So I know on the days that I work from home, I will likely FaceTime my best friend because that's the perfect time to catch up with her. What's going on? How's your week been? How was your weekend? Tell me all about it. Usually during the week, when I leave for lunch, those are the times that I like to call my parents. I know I have nothing else to do right now. I'm just sitting eating my lunch. Let's chat. I even do that sometimes over the weekend. I'll be cleaning and I'll say, hey, this is a good time to call mom, and while you clean, you can have her in your headphones while you guys are catching up on your week. So finding pockets of times where you can check in on the people that you care about is a big way to strengthen that relationship. One, think about it in the reverse. If someone called you out of the blue and just said, hey, I was just thinking about you, want to see how your week went, wouldn't that make you feel so fucking good? Whenever someone hits me up and was like, hey, I was thinking about you, how's your week going? I'm like, you were thinking about little old me? People really want to feel that level of care, and you're not going to come off weird. They're going to really admire it. In fact, you don't know what people are going through, and when you check in on people, that's where the relationship really strengthens, because they're like, wow, this person has my back, even when I didn't ask for them. Even when I didn't call them and say this is going on, they just decided to check in on me to see what's up. Even if it's just a light phone call, even if it's just a little text, hey, what you doing? Let's catch up soon. Those random check-ins are what's really going to keep your relationship strong. The next thing for keeping friends, and this is more for friends that live out of state or maybe across the country, is scheduling time every single year to catch up with them. So I know me and my best friend, we go on a trip maybe once a year, and if not, we each come to each other's city at least once a year. I've honestly seen her 4 times this year. It's May, but we routinely make time to see each other. It's not when I see you, I see you. And in fact, we have a third friend that she's closer with, but she will go and see that friend once a year. Every single year in March, she has an annual trip that she goes and sees that friend. Things like that is what's going to help strengthen your out of town, your distance relationships, when you're consistently making time to go see each other. And it only really has to be once a year. Like, because I know life is busy, money can be tight, like you might not have the amount of money to travel as much as you want to, but really just making at least one time a year, maybe it's their birthday, maybe it's your birthday, a designated time that you guys are going to come together and hang out for a weekend, a week, whatever it is, that's going to make sure that those out of town relationships stay really strong. And the last bit of advice I have for strengthening your current relationships is having routine gifts and little things that you do for your friends. So I know for my mom, we have this thing that if she wants like to eat out at certain restaurants, she will call me and I will do it for her. She's completely capable of ordering her own Chinese food, but it's just been a norm between us that if I want Chinese food, Ollie will buy it for me. And I could be out drunk with my friends. My mom hits me up like I want Chinese food and I'm in the corner of the club. Hold on, I gotta order my mom some food. She's hungry. Cause why? Cause that's the thing that keeps our relationship strong, that she knows she can rely on me for this. I know I have one friend that, because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I fucking love Halloween. So every single October, this friend sends me like a Halloween themed like flower basket. It's something I look forward to it now. It's like I've gotten like 3 years in a row or something, but every time it comes, y'all are gonna see it on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I'm like, I got my flowers, and it's like a little pumpkin with like flowers coming out and things like that. Just remind me that it's like she cares about me. She knows what I like. She's like going out of her way for me, you know? Or even like, it doesn't have to be a routine thing. Like I remember I had one friend that was going into surgery and she was having like it was like a minor surgery. It wasn't anything crazy, but I'm a little bit scary when it comes to doctors. So when she said she was going to surgery, I was so nervous for her. And I sent her an edible arrangement so that when she came back from the hospital, she had a bunch of like sweets and stuff that she can snack on. And she was so appreciative of that. She's like, wow, thank you. And just doing something like that strengthened our relationship because it gave her something to enjoy. It gave me something to feel good about, that I was helping my friend, but also those little gifts that you can point back to and be like, I have this because so-and-so gave it to me, you know? I have my Beats headphones because my sister gave that to me for Christmas. I have my Brandon Blackwood bag because my sister gave that to me. Like, you know, like all these things that I have and I use on a regular basis, I can point back to somebody I love and that they gave it to me. Whether it's a flower that might die or like a thing that you actually use on a regular basis, giving your friends those little gifts, whether they're routine gifts or ad hoc gifts for a birthday, they're gonna look back and say, oh, I love this little thing. Even if it's just like a $20 shirt. This is a $20 shirt my friend gave me, and I wear it with love because I love them. So the last thing I'll say around friendship is how to be a better friend. Because in reality, the only way you're going to strengthen and enrich your current relationships is to be a good friend. And sometimes that's not innate. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you need a little help. I honestly needed a little help, and I used to think I was a fantastic friend. I was like, I'm a great friend. But then I realized that I still had things I needed to work on. And the real truth of the matter is the issues you have in your platonic relationships are going to be exemplified 10 times fold when you get into a romantic relationship. And that's what made me realize what I needed to fix to be a better friend. I remember, and I think I've talked about this extensively on my TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, what are you doing? I've talked a lot about being a non-confrontational person. It's something that I struggled with my whole life. And I think I'm getting better, but to be honest, I still sweat anytime I have to confront somebody. Anytime I gotta talk about shit that's like not happy, I'm like, it's still something that it's a muscle that I still have to strengthen, but I didn't realize how weak this muscle was until I got into a real relationship. Because I remember I used to have conflicts with friends and it basically meant the friendship was over. I was like, yeah, me and her got into a fight, we're not friends anymore. And that was it. And I thought that was logical. I thought that was completely logical, that me and her got into a fight, we're no longer friends, that's the end of the friendship. I had no conflict resolution skills. Any kind of fight, any kind of issue that I had with somebody meant the friendship is now over because you pissed me off. Which to some degree is valid, but it's not a good way to go about life, because once I get into a romantic relationship, I'm not about to break up with my man because he made me angry on Tuesday. Like, that's just not, it's not logical, and I don't want to do that. You know, that's when your issues as a platonic friend, they get exemplified when you're in a relationship, because there's more at stake now. Like, even if I love my friends with the same amount of love that I have for a romantic relationship, if I'm willing to drop my friends at any kind of issue, but I'm not willing to drop my relationship at an issue, there's a disconnect there. You have to work through that cognitive dissonance, because that doesn't make sense. And I had to realize that I had to be better at talking about my feelings when they're not happy, comfortable feelings, or else I'm risking losing every relationship that I have in my life, because I'm not able to work through conflict. So you might need to take a critical eye to yourself and what are the traits that you have that are making you not the best friend. And if this is a hard exercise for you, what I would actually start with is writing down the qualities of what you would determine to be a good friend. How does a good friend behave? How do they talk to you? How do they treat you? What does a good friendship look like right now? Whether you're 18, 19, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, what do you want from your friends? And then once you have that list written out, critically examine, am I this friend? Am I this person? Do I show up for people the way that I want people to show up for me? And that's the best way to start reworking yourself. The best friendships you're going to have are going to be heavily dependent on how good of a friend you are. And if you are not a good friend, then you're always going to have shitty relationships. And you're never going to be able to identify where the crap started because it's starting with you and you're not self-aware enough. So being self-aware and being able to acknowledge like, hey, these are my traits that I need to work on doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you lesser than. It just means that you got to work on them. And as you work on them, over time, you'll see yourself progress. You'll see your relationships flourish. You'll see yourself able to make friends on a dime. I used to have to put so much intentional effort into making friends, whereas now, like, I will make friends everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'll make a friend, and 2 weeks later, I'm hanging out with that friend. And I don't have to, like, think so hard about it because I did the work of being a better friend in general. So if you got into this point of the video, then I hope you have some new tools, you know, in your fanny pack for being a better friend. I hope you're feeling more confident on making new friends, on strengthening your existing relationships, and obviously how to be a better friend. And just know that this is not going to be an overnight process. You know, you're not going to wake up with 10 new friends tomorrow, but today is day one for the rest of our lives, and all we're looking for is progress and not perfection. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it some love down below. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new uploads, and I will see you guys in the next one.